So, you just watched our day one episode, right? You saw me become the daddy anchor, you saw the wizard food, and that magical misty morning at the base camp, if you missed it, or our Caving 101 class. You might want to go back and watch this first so you know what's going on. Now, that peaceful, misty morning, that was the calm before the storm. This is the storm. Day 2, the real Hang Tien caving expedition, begins now. But first, just look at this morning. The base camp was magical. You could just see this mild fog rolling over the tops of the mountains. Our little tents were all quiet. My son was just sitting there watching the river flow by. It was perfectly calm, too calm. It was the calm before the storm. We had a plan. The day was split into two parts, Hang Tien Cave 1 and Hang Tien Cave 2. We had already agreed that I, as the daddy anchor, would drop off after Cave 1. The path to Cave 2 was super tough, and I was not going to be the one to slow the whole group down. So it turns out Oxalis was right. We did need a personal guide. It just wasn't for my son, it was for me and my son. He was going on to scale Cave 2, and as we later found out, became one of the youngest people at that time to do it. The first ascent was brutal, just rocks and ridges, but we had the energy from that huge breakfast. So, when the massive gateway to Hang Tien finally started looming, pose 1, click. We enter the gateway, which isn't even Hang Tien 1, it's just the lobby. And this lobby was clearly designed to be your next social media display picture. There's a small, perfect pond that creates this mirror reflection. It's just begging to be photographed. Our energy was already dipping, but we had to get the shot. My model teenager was still in his I will pose only if you beg me mode. This gateway leads into another, even larger cave opening, and this is where we really got a sense of the scale. If this isn't the main cave, you can only imagine how big Sun Dome must be. Inside this cave is a massive dome. This thing is a massive swirling vortex carved into the rock. Geologists would call it a solution dome. I am calling it the ice cream scoop of God. It's like a giant cosmic ice cream scoop. Just reached down and carved a perfect swirling chunk right out of the planet's ceiling. The Oxalis guides and porters, God bless them, went to extra lengths, running around in the dark with powerful lights, just so we could absorb the scale, and our little mobile cameras could try to do it justice. My model's energy tripping way below tolerable levels instead of an energetic pose. In front of the largest cave dome we have ever seen, he decides to do an I am meditating pose. That's the max we're gonna get. Okay, fine. Then we see it. A picture perfect Flowstone. Remember from our Caving 101 class? The cave's messy toddler playing with liquid rock. Well, here it is in all its glory. And this is when our energy meter did a reverse flip. The true nature of caving started to show up. Suddenly we had to walk on narrow ledges. Grabbing onto ropes, we had to walk through pitch black alleys, and This is where the footage gets a little sparse. Look, we've always said we travel for the experience, not for the content. And when you're faced with a tiny dark stretch that you have to crawl and squeeze through, your first thought is not, hey, I should film this. Your first thought is, I really hope I am not wider than this hole. Then we reached a small clearing for a breather, energy meters running on reserve, a quick selfie, and we are off to Hang Tien Cave 1. This cave has no lights. It is just our headlights and the extra lights the guides carry to show us the vastness. And this is where we saw the rimstone pools. Remember the cave's personal, multi-level infinity pool, just stunning. Then we found this miniature cave, a perfect tiny model of everything. Stalactites, stalagmites, columns. It was a total, honey, we shrunk the cave moment. It was cute, beautiful, and my son's reaction was basically, okay, cool, what's next? I want to see more. Then another social media bite worthy shooting spot, a perfect backlit silhouette between two massive stalagmites. What's a stalagmite? You'd better go watch our Cave 101 video. We're not explaining it twice. Then we finally reached the large main chamber inside Hang Tien Cave 1 for lunch. And as always, Oxalis throws an elaborate full-on meal in the most remote location imaginable. And then came the moment, the core memory. You all remember that Thailand cave rescue in 2018, where that soccer team was trapped for days? Our guides asked us, would you all like to experience what those kids went through for 10 days in the dark? We all hesitantly agreed. They did warn us. This is not for the faint of heart. And then, one by one, every single light was cut, absolute pitch black, the kind of dark where you can't see your own hand in front of your face, the kind of dark where the only sound is your own breathing, absolute stillness. Trust me when I say it was one of the most memorable and numbing few minutes of our lives. Hats off to those kids and those rescuers. True, true, brave hearts. With that, my journey was over. I headed back to base camp, and my son went on to Hang Tien Cave too. I took the scenic walk and the car drive back to the Oxalis HQ. And on that road, we met the group just finishing their hike. I see my son. He was tired. He was muddy. He was exhausted. And he had this huge grin on his face. That is the moment the kid Oxalis was so worried about. Just finished the entire tough expedition while the daddy anchor was already clean and waiting in an air-conditioned car. He just summarized the whole epic experience with his own perfect, understated smile. It was brutal. So proud.